The morphine made everything feel distant and dreamlike, but not distant enough to miss the words that would shatter whatever remained of my relationship with my parents. "Doctor, can we swap her organs to save my son instead?" My mother's voice cut through the medical equipment's steady beeping like a scalpel through skin. I kept my eyes closed, letting them think the medications had me completely under. The car accident 3 days ago had left me with internal bleeding, a lacerated liver, and damaged kidneys. I was fighting for my life, but apparently, that life was negotiable. "I'm sorry, what?" Dr. Harrison's voice was professional, but clearly shocked. "Our son, Blake," my father said, his tone matter of fact, as if discussing a business transaction. "He's on the kidney transplant list. Since Maya's here anyway, and her condition is uncertain, wouldn't it make more sense to save the child who has a future?" The child who has a future. I was 24 years old, a graduate student in biomedical engineering, 2 months away from defending my thesis. But to them, I'd never have a future that mattered. "She's useless anyway," Mom added, and I could hear her shifting in her chair, probably examining her manicured nails as she spoke. "Blake is going to be a doctor. Maya just exists." "She's just a burden," Dad agreed. "Always has been. If one of them has to survive this, it should be Blake." Dr. Harrison cleared his throat. "Mr. and Mrs. Brennan, your daughter is very much alive. She's responding well to treatment. We expect her to make a full recovery. But if she doesn't," Mom pressed, "can we make arrangements? Some kind of directive that her organs go to Blake. He's been on dialysis for 8 months, Dad added. His kidneys are failing from the genetic condition. The same one Maya should have gotten but didn't. It's almost like she stole his health. Stole his health. As if I'd chosen my DNA, deliberately selected the healthy genes to spite my younger brother. Blake was 19, had been sick since he was 15, and somehow, in my parents' minds, that was my fault. My crime was being healthy while their golden child suffered. "That's not how organ donation works," Dr. Harrison said, his voice hardening. "And certainly not while the patient is alive and recovering. What you're suggesting is..." "Practical," Mom interrupted. "We're being practical. Blake is at Cedar Medical Center across town. His doctor said he might not make it another year without a kidney. Maya's right here, and if something happens..." "Nothing is going to happen," Dr. Harrison said firmly. "Your daughter suffered serious trauma, but she's young, strong, and responding well to treatment. She should make a full recovery within a few months." "But the expense," Dad said. "The medical bills for keeping her here, all this treatment, when that money could go toward Blake's care." I couldn't help it. My heart rate spiked, and the monitor betrayed me with its accelerated beeping. "She's awake," Dr. Harrison said immediately. "Maya, can you open your eyes for me?" I opened them slowly, meeting Dr. Harrison's concerned gaze first, then turning to my parents. They didn't even have the decency to look ashamed. "How long have you been awake?" Mom asked, annoyed rather than embarrassed. "Long enough," I whispered, my throat raw from the ventilator they'd removed yesterday. "Long enough to hear you trying to harvest my organs while I'm still using them." "Don't be dramatic," Dad said, standing up and straightening his tie. "We were simply discussing options. Blake is dying. And I'm not." I gestured weakly at the array of machines keeping track of my vital signs. "I'm in the ICU." "You'll be fine," Mom dismissed. "You always are. Meanwhile, your brother, your only brother, is suffering, and you could save him." "I could save him by dying? By being useful for once in your life," she snapped. "Do you know how much we've spent on Blake's treatments? How much we've sacrificed? And here you are, perfectly healthy your whole life, not even grateful for it." Dr. Harrison stepped forward. "I need to ask you both to leave. You're upsetting my patient, and that's counterproductive to her recovery." "She's our daughter," Dad protested. "A daughter whose organs you were just discussing harvesting," Dr. Harrison said bluntly. "Please leave, or I'll call security." They left, but not before Mom delivered one final blow. "We'll be at the hospital with Blake. When you're released, don't bother coming home. We need to focus on the child who actually needs us." The silence after they left was deafening. Dr. Harrison checked my monitors, adjusted my 4, then pulled a chair close to my bed. "Maya," he said gently, "what just happened? That's not normal. That's not okay. Do you have anyone else? Other family? Friends?" I nodded carefully. "My roommate, Jenna. She's been here every day. My parents." I swallowed hard. They told her visiting hours were family only. "I'll fix that immediately. She can visit whenever she wants." He paused. "Maya, I need to ask you something important." Do you feel safe? If you're discharged and need somewhere to go. I'm not going back to them, I said firmly. Ever? He nodded. Good. I'll have our social worker come by. There are resources available. And Maya, your parents can't make any medical decisions for you. You're an adult. I'm noting in your file that they're not to receive any medical information without your explicit consent. After he left, I lay there processing what had happened. Part of me wasn't surprised. Blake had always been the favorite, even before he got sick. When his kidneys started failing, I'd immediately gotten tested to see if I could donate. I was a match, but my parents had refused to let me. You need to finish your education, they'd said. Blake wouldn't want you to sacrifice your future for him. Now I understood. They didn't want me to donate a kidney. They wanted all of them. All of me. Gift-wrapped and delivered to save their precious son. I reached for my phone, charging on the bedside table. Jenna answered on the first ring. Maya. Oh my God, I've been trying to visit, but they keep saying. My parents lied, I said. You can visit. Please come. And Jenna? Bring my laptop. The one with all my research. Of course, but why? I'll explain when you get here. While waiting for Jenna, I made another call. This one to Professor Chun, my thesis advisor. Maya, I heard about your accident. How are you? Recovering, I said. Professor, remember the patent application we filed last month? For the dialysis improvement system. Of course. Brilliant work. The committee was impressed. If it gets approved, the licensing rights would be worth, conservatively, several million. Your design could revolutionize dialysis treatment. Why? Just checking. I'll be back to defend my thesis as soon as I can. Take your time. Your health comes first. I hung up and smiled grimly. My parents had no idea what I'd been working on. No idea that their useless daughter had spent 3 years developing a revolutionary dialysis system that could extend the life of kidney disease patients by decades. The irony was perfect. I'd started the research because of Blake, wanting to help him. Now it would help me instead. Jenna arrived an hour later, carrying my laptop and a duffel bag. I brought you some real clothes, she said, then stopped short when she saw my expression. What happened? I told her everything. By the end, she was pacing the room, furious. They tried to organ harvest you? Their own daughter? While you're alive. Technically, they just asked about it, I said. But yes. That's attempted murder, Maya. That's conspiracy to commit murder. It's also the last time they'll ever have any say in my life. I opened my laptop, wincing at the movement. Help me with something. Together, we drafted several emails. One to the family lawyer my grandmother had left me money to retain before she died. Money my parents didn't know about. Another to Professor Chun, officially accepting the research position at Johns Hopkins that I'd been considering. A third to the patent office, confirming that all rights and proceeds would go solely to me, not to my family. Then I recorded a video. Just me in my hospital bed, bruised and bandaged but very much alive. Hi Blake, I said to the camera. I know Mom and Dad will show you this eventually, so I wanted you to hear it from me. I was in an accident. I'm going to be okay. But while I was lying here, possibly dying, our parents asked the doctor if they could take my organs to give to you. While I was still alive. I paused, gathering strength. I want you to know that I would have given you a kidney. I tried to, remember? I got tested. I was a match, but Mom and Dad said no. Now I know why. They wanted all of me to be spare parts for you. But Blake, you're better than them. I know you are. The research I've been doing, it's all been for you. To help kids with your condition. The patent is going to be worth millions, and I'm putting it in a trust. Not for Mom and Dad, who see me as nothing but spare organs. But for research, for treatment, for other families dealing with kidney disease. I looked directly at the camera. I love you, Blake. But I can't be around people who literally discussed parting me out like a car while I was fighting for my life. When you're better, and you will get better, there are new treatments coming. Find me. Just you. Not them. I sent the video to Blake's personal email, not the one my parents monitored. The next day, Dr. Harrison brought unexpected news. Your brother is here, he said. Blake. He's asking to see you. I tensed. My parents. He came alone. Well, not alone. He has a nurse with him. He's in a wheelchair. Should I send him away? I thought about it. Blake and I had been close once, before his illness consumed our family, before my parents' favoritism turned toxic. Send him in, I said. Blake wheeled himself in, his nurse waiting by the door. He looked terrible, pale, thin, the dialysis taking its toll. But his eyes were clear and full of tears. "Maya," he said. "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You didn't know." "I did," he interrupted. "Not about this, not about what they asked the doctor, but I knew how they treated you. How they've always treated you. And I let it happen because I benefited from it." He moved his wheelchair closer. "I got your video. I also got a call from Dr. Harrison. He didn't give details, but he said I should know what my parents tried to do." Blake's voice cracked. "They tried to kill you. For me. They tried to murder my sister to save me." "Blake, I told them I'm getting legally emancipated," he continued. "I'm 19. I can make my own medical decisions. I've been accepted into a trial treatment program at Johns Hopkins, fully funded by a research grant. I'm going to get better, Maya, but not at your expense. Never at your expense." "Johns Hopkins." I smiled weakly. "That's where I'm going for my PhD." "I know," he smiled back. "Maybe we can be actual siblings again. Without them. I'd like that." Blake reached for my hand, careful of the four. "The patent, Maya. The dialysis system. I looked it up after your video. You did that for me. For kids like you," I corrected. "But yes, initially for you. It's brilliant. It's going to save so many lives. Yours included, I hope." We sat in silence for a moment before Blake spoke again. "They're telling everyone you're being selfish. That you refuse to help me. They're playing the victim." "Let them," I said. "Anyone who matters knows the truth." "Grandma's estate lawyer called me," Blake said suddenly. "Apparently, she left you more than just money. There's a house. In Oregon. It's yours free and clear. They never knew about it. Grandma. Still protecting me from beyond the grave. She'd seen what my parents were long before I had. You could come," I offered. "After your treatment. If you want." "I'd like that," Blake said. "A fresh start. For both of us." 2 weeks later, I was released from the hospital. Jenna picked me up. My parents didn't even call. But the parking lot was full of people. Professor Chun, my research team, other grad students, even Dr. Harrison, who'd come despite being off shift. "You have a real family," Jenna said, looking at the crowd. "One that actually values you." As we drove away, I got a text from an unknown number. I almost deleted it, then saw the preview. "This is Blake's nurse." I opened it fully. "Your brother wanted me to tell you that he started spreading the truth about what happened. Your parents are facing social services investigation. Also, he says the new treatment is working. He's going to make it." I smiled, looking out at the road ahead. My parents had been right about one thing. One of their children was useless to them now. But it wasn't the one they'd thought. They'd tried to harvest my organs to save Blake. Instead, I'd saved him myself, with my mind, my research, my love, things they'd never valued, things they'd called useless. And in trying to sacrifice me, they'd lost both their children forever. The irony was as sharp as a scalpel and twice as cutting. 6 months later, I successfully defended my thesis. Blake was there, walking on his own, his new treatment working miraculously. My parents were not invited. I heard they'd told everyone I'd abandoned the family in Blake's time of need. The truth was simpler. I'd refused to die for their convenience. And that, apparently, was the most unforgivable thing a daughter could do.